Hi, first graders. I hope you're ready for Fundations. Our learning goals for today are I can read and spell trick words, and I can read and spell blends and are controlled vowel words. So, to warm our brains up, let's practice doing our glued sounds. Ready? Do this with me. A-N-G, fang, ang, I-N-G, ring, ing, O-N-G, song, ong, U-N-G, lung, ung. And this side, A-N-K, bank, ank, I-N-K, pink, ink, O-N-K, honk, onk, U-N-K, junk, unk. And our glued sounds down here, A-L-L, ball, all, A-M, ham, am, A-N, fan, an. And then our digraphs, W-H, whistle, whoop, C-H, chin, ch, S-H, ship, sh, T-H, thumb, C-K, sock, k. Great job. All right, so we have been talking about blends, and blends are when we have two consonants next to each other that we blend the sounds together. So here are some examples of blends. I want you to go ahead and sound out these blended sounds together with me. So here we go. Bull, full, coal, goal, pull. So those are all blends. And down here, burr, cur, der, fur, gur, purr, tur. And the bottom, sk, sol, sp, st, sw, sk, sm, sn. All right, those are a bunch of blends. Now, here is a song about blends that will help us remember that blends are two sounds, two letters together.
Grammarly can help you write quickly and confidently, so you never have to slow down at work. Instant corrections make your writing mistake-free, while keeping it short, sweet.
There we go.
Children's songs, sing and move along. Children's songs make your brain and body strong. They are two letters that work together to help make words begin. They are two letters that work together and you can call them blends. They are two letters that work together to help make words begin. They are two letters that work together and you can call them blends. Here are some letters that work together. B says B, R says brr. Together they say brr, like in bread. C says k, R says brr. Together they say cur, like in crocodile. D says D, R says brr. Together they say dur, like in dragon. F says F, R says R. Together they say fur, like in frog. Ribbit. G says G, R says R. Together they say grr, like in grapes. P says P, R says R. Together they say purr, like in present. T says T, R says R. Together they say tur, like in train. B says B, L says L. Together they say bull, like in block. C says K, L says L. Together they say cool, like in clown. F says F, L says L. Together they say full, like in flag. They are two letters that work together to help make words begin. They are two letters that work together and you can call them blends. They are two letters that work together to help make words begin. They are two letters that work together and you can call them blends. They are two letters that work together. If you
All right, boys and girls, hopefully that reminded you what blends were. Now we'll get back to our lesson. The other thing we learned about the other day were R-controlled vowels. So we're going to practice when AR is together, it makes the R sound. So practice this with me. AR, car, R. Do it with me. AR, car, R. And OR, horn, or. One more time. OR, horn, or. All right, and those, like I said, are called R-controlled vowels, and sometimes we call them bossy R. All right, boys and girls, we're going to practice reading our trick words together, so let's go ahead and read those. Ready? Here we go. The, and, is, his, of. And the next row, as, has, to, into, we, he, she, be, me, for, or, you, your, I, they, was, one, said, from, have, do, does, were, are, who, what, when, where, there, here, why, by, my, try, put, to, very, also, some, come, could, should, and would. All right, boys and girls, we are going to read a story today called The Pink Dress. And when I read the story, I want you to picture the story in your brain like a movie, and I want you to picture what's happening in the story. So right now, listen and think about what's happening in the story. Mom said, Jess, you have to get a dress at the shop. Let's go and you can try some of them. They went to the shop. Jess held up a red dress. So boys and girls, I hope you're picturing this little girl holding up a red dress. Can I try this one? That dress was just too small. Then Jess held up another one. It was a pink silk dress, and silk is a very soft material. That is the best dress, said Mom. If it does fit you, I will get that one for you. The pink dress did fit Jess, but it had a small rip in it. Mom said, I can fix that rip. I will mend it for you. That means she's going to sew it up and she's going to fix it. Jess said, thank you, Mom. She was so glad to get the pink silk dress. All right, so boys and girls, think about what this story is about and think about what's happening in the story. Let's read it one more time. Mom said, Jess, you have to get a dress at the shop. Let's go and you can try some of them. They went to the shop. Jess held up a red dress. Can I try this one? That dress was just too small. Then Jess held up another one. It was a pink silk dress. That is the best dress, said Mom. If it does fit you, I will get that one for you. The pink dress did fit Jess, but it had a small rip in it. Mom said, I can fix that rip. I will mend it for you. Jess said, thank you, Mom. She was so glad to get the pink silk dress. All right, boys and girls, think about that story, and I want you to think about who the characters were in that story. Who were the characters? Who were the people in that story? Let's see if you can tell your teacher if you're at school, or think about it if you're at home. So our story had the little girl who was named Jess, so she was a main character, and it had Mom. Now think about the setting of the story. Where did this story take place? Let's see if you can think about that. Where were they in this story? So if they were trying on dresses, they would have had to have been at a shop, at a dress shop, or a store that had lots of dresses. So that would be the setting of the story. Now, the main events, that means what happened at the beginning, then what happened, and then what happened at the end. So at the beginning of the story, Mom told Jess she had to go look for a dress. She had to go shopping for a dress. And then the middle of the story, Jess tried on a red one and then a pink one. And then the pink one had a rip in it, but Mom said she could fix it. And at the end of the story, Mom said she'd buy her the dress and that she would fix the little rip and make it better. All right, so we're going to look at the story again. And this time we're going to look and see if we can find quotation marks. Quotation marks are those little marks around what someone is saying. Okay, so see if you can find where the quotation marks are. A lot of times they're after the word said. So it says, Mom said, look, I see a quotation mark right there. It's right before what she said. And she said, Jess, you have to get a dress at the shop. Let's go and you can try some of them. That's the end of what she said. So there is the next quotation mark. They went to the shop. Jess held up a red dress. Can I try this one? There's some more quotation marks right here and right here because that is what Jess said. She said, can I try this one? That dress was too small. Then Jess held up another one. It was the pink silk dress. I see another one right there. That is the best dress. And that's the end of what Mom said. And then she says right here, if it does fit you, I will get that one for you. Again, that's what she said. The pink dress did fit Jess, but it had a small rip in it. Mom said, oh, she says something again. I can fix that rip. I will mend it for you. Jess said, here is what Jess says. Thank you, Mom. She was so glad to get the pink silk dress. All right. Then it asked us to highlight the capital letters. Let's see. I can switch to my yellow. There are capital letters at the beginning of every sentence. Mom said you have to get a dress at the shop. Oh, there's a period, so there's another capital letter. Let's go and you can try some of them. Oh, and there's another capital letter. They went to the shop. Oh, a period, so another. Also, Jess is a name, so it's another. And then I is always capital. And at the beginning of every sentence, you have a capital letter. All right. And the next thing, and I'm not going to do that bottom part, but the next thing that it asks us to do is we're going to look for blends. Okay. So I want you to see if you can find a blend from our story that has an ESS. A word right here that ends in ESS, but it has a blend at the beginning of it. See if you can find that. Okay, if you found the word dress, you are right because dress begins with the DR blend. Okay, now another word from our story that ends in a Y, but it begins with a blend. So see if you can find the word that ends with a Y, but it begins with a blend. Okay, did you find try? Because try has a TR at the beginning. And then we have a word that has a WE at the beginning, but it ends in a blend. What word was that? It ends in a blend. Okay, did you find went ends in an NT blend? And then another word that has a J and a U and it ends in a blend. See if you can find that word. It ends in a blend. There's an ST blend at the end of just. And then we have a word that has ALL at the end, and it begins with a blend. Do you see that word? If you need to pause and look for it, see if you can find it. Did you find the word small, which begins with an SM blend? And then we have a word that ends in a blend that starts with a B and an E. Best. Oh, there's the word best. It has a blend at the end. And the next one, S-I, and then a blend at the end. The dress was made out of silk, and it has an LK at the, and our last one has an AD at the end, and it begins with a blend at the beginning. What blend would that be? Glad. Okay. So there were lots of words in our story that had blends at the beginning, and some had blends at the end. All right. Boys and girls, on your dry erase board, we're going to practice, or if you have your wind book, but you could just use your dry erase board, we're going to practice some sounds and some words. So I'm going to give you a sound, and I want you to write down the sound that you hear. Are you ready? The first sound is the sound unk. What makes the sound unk? Unk. Write down what makes the sound unk. It's a glued sound. And hopefully you wrote U-N-K because that says unk. The next one, I want you to try what makes the sound ang. Ang. It's another glued sound. Ang. Ang. Think about our glued sounds. Which one says ang? All right, and hopefully you have A-N-G. Ang. And the last sound that we're going to practice is the sound ink. Let's do the sound ink. How do you make the sound ink? Ink. And hopefully you have I-N-K. All right, now we're going to practice a word, boys and girls. And so the first word that I want you to write is the word would. Would you come play with me? Would. Okay, let's remember our cheer that we remembered. How do you spell would? Let's see if you got it. W-O-U-L-D. All right, did you get would? All right, and the next word I want you to spell is the word should. Should. We should spell the word should correctly. Should. Let's make the word should. All right, and should is spelled S-H-O-U-L-D. All right, now let's practice making this word. The next word I want you to practice is the word drip. My faucet had a drip. So we hear d-er-ip, drip, d-er-ip, drip. Okay, let's see if you got it. Did you spell it D-R-I-P? Great job. And the next one I want you to write is stub. Ooh, don't stub your toe. So we hear st-a-b, stub, stub, st-ub. All right, do you have S-T-U-B? Great job. All right, and the next word we're going to try is the word flap. He can flap his wings. So we hear flap, 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 flap. All right, let's see. Do you have F-L-A-P, flap? All right, and one more practice word today. Let's try the word bent. The board was bent. So we have b-e-n-t, bent. B-e-n-t, bent. This word has a blend at the end, so it's B-E-N-N-T. All right, boys and girls, you can put your dry erase boards away, and I will show you what we are working on in your phonics packet today. So go ahead and get your packet that has the sheep on it. This one here, Unit 8, okay? And the page that you are going to do, you have a page 9 and 10 is what you are doing today. It is the pink dress story. So I want you to go ahead and practice reading the story and then circle the words that begin with a blend, underline the diagraphs, and put a star on the bonus letters. So after you practice reading it, look for those words. And then on the back, you are going to answer the questions. Who are the characters? What is the setting? What dress did Jess get? And what does mend mean? Hopefully you remember what mend means from our story. All right, boys and girls, I will see you next time for Foundations.